The 5 saddest things about Penn Badgley's life. Hey guys, today we're going to talk about the 5 saddest things about Penn Badgley's life. Let's get right into it. Number 1. He despised his most popular characters. Most Penn Badgley fans are probably familiar with him from his roles on the widely popular series You or the iconic Gossip Girl. Both appear to be fantastic opportunities, but Badgley struggled with the characters he played on both shows. In You, Badgley portrayed stalker-turned-serial killer Joe Goldberg, a role he hoped would elicit some thought-provoking dialogue from viewers. In an interview with Vulture in 2018, he admitted, "I don't like Joe. A lot of actors like saying, don't judge a character, you might fall in love with him. Not me. It took every ounce of my capacity to do my job. It turned out that fans adored Joe, seeing him as someone willing to risk everything for love." When it came to his role as Dan Humphrey on Gossip Girl, Badgley didn't hate the character so much as fans came to think of him as him. He said, "It's not that I don't like Dan Humphrey. It's just after a while, you're known as somebody that you're just not, and this is somebody who I am not." Furthermore, Badgley became dissatisfied with the show's convoluted plotlines. He told Vulture, "You start with something real and it eventually becomes, against all odds, how do these 6 people still hang out every day? It's fucking crazy." Number 2. He had to continue working with Blake Lively despite their breakup. Working with an ex is never easy, and one can only imagine the added stress of doing so on a hit show with millions of viewers who are as invested in your personal life as they are in your characters. Penn Badgley and Blake Lively, like their Gossip Girl co-stars Dan Humphrey and Serena van der Woodsen, began dating in 2007. However, the characters' romance outlasted Badgley and Lively's real-life relationship, which ended in 2010. To make matters worse, Lively married Ryan Reynolds while Gossip Girl was still in production. When asked if he sent the happy couple a wedding gift, Badgley simply replied, "No, I didn't." He did explain that his relationship with Lively was valuable and that the breakup was handled professionally. He said, "We were very caught up in the show, which itself was a 6-year endurance test. Our relationship was a part of that and helped us through it." Nonetheless, when asked by US Weekly in 2015 to name his best and worst on-screen kisses, Badgley seemed preoccupied with Lively. He chose her as the best, explaining, "I'll say it was Blake, because we actually had a relationship at the time, and his worst on-screen kiss? Maybe Blake after we broke up," the actor said. Apparently, he still had a little of that lonely boy energy at the time. Number 3. He experienced anxiety due to his fame. Anyone who has ever had an anxiety attack knows how terrifying it can be. Unfortunately, Penn Badgley had to go through it when the fame he gained from Gossip Girl and You became too much for him. The actor was in Manila promoting You when he was surrounded by thousands of fans in a shopping mall. Badgley revealed on the Baha Eye blogcast with Rainn Wilson, "I had an anxiety attack during the press trip," he added, "and I'm not a person who has that. I mean, look, I have anxieties, I think. I'm human." But the pressures of being in the public eye had clearly caught up with the actor. In a 2021 interview with Vulture, Badgley reflected on his Gossip Girl's days and said exactly that. The public scrutiny was not something the actor was expecting, and it appears to have taken its toll. Number 4. He suffered from depression prior to his big break. Penn Badgley began his acting career at a young age, having graduated from high school at the age of 13 to focus on his work. But he was not an overnight sensation. Badgley appeared in a number of one-off episodes of TV shows including Will and Grace, The Twilight Zone, and What I Like About You, as well as a 10-episode stint on The Young and the Restless. He had already done so much TV work by the time Gossip Girl came along that he initially turned down the role of Dan Humphrey. He didn't want the part because he was afraid of being typecast, but that wasn't the only reason. He stated to Vulture, "I was frustrated, and I was broke, and I was depressed, and I was like, I cannot do that again. I can't." Despite his dissatisfaction, Badgley ended up taking what became an iconic role when he realized the alternative was becoming a waiter. While Badgley acknowledges his good fortune in being given such an opportunity, he has also stated that living in Los Angeles and striving for success can be draining at times. Number 5. He had a difficult adolescence. Who among us can honestly say that our adolescent years were completely joyous? Penn Badgley, on the other hand, was in a unique position because he was dedicated to becoming an actor during those formative years, auditioning for and landing roles that would have millions watching him in all his awkward glory. Badgley now hosts the podcast Podcrushed, in which he discusses the horrors of adolescence. According to Vanity Fair, Badgley was quiet, insecure, and lonely as a preteen because he was an only child. He also shared an experience that, in retrospect, was amusing but sad at the time. However, Badgley has developed into a sought-after actor with heartthrob looks and astute observations. He told Vanity Fair about an epiphany that changed his perspective. That's all for today, and we'll be sure to catch you all in the next one.